How is everyone doing? I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. Welcome to a 3 talking points video after our 2-1 win over Malmo last night. I'm making it a 3 talking points video because, I watched the game again, and honestly, I'll be repeating myself if I make it a 5 talking points video. So every now and then, depending on the game and the context, I'm going to have to switch things up a tiny bit. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the lack of Hudson Odoi. I'm going to be talking about the debate surrounding Gary Cahill and his influence on the team. You guys, before I get into anything, one more quick announcement. I am going to be releasing the match reaction to our win over Malmo later tonight or maybe tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned for that. The only way to watch that exclusive video is on Patreon, because on YouTube, honestly you guys, it keeps getting taken down time and time again. I don't have the time to keep re-editing and doing this and doing that, but to be honest, I do like doing this series, and the only way to continue it is by doing it through Patreon. So if you want to get exclusive content that I'll never release on the channel, make sure you subscribe to me on Patreon. I think in the future I'm going to develop what I do on Patreon even more, so honestly I think it's beneficial to sign up now. In the link in the description below is going to be a link to my Patreon, so if you want to help me out, make sure you click on it. Getting straight into the first talking point, that's in regards to Hudson Odoi and his lack of game time. Now, honestly, I had a feeling I was right. Back when Bayern Munich, the interest was intensifying and it looked like he might be leaving in January, he was getting more game time. It seemed like Sarri and Zola had changed their tune and spoke about it more as a first team squad player instead of being a youth player. And I just knew that they're only doing it now because Bayern Munich have come and they've said they want Hudson Odoi. Now, obviously, since the window's ended, he's barely played any football. And the thing that really gets on my nerves the most, you guys, is the fact that we kill any momentum that young players can have. How many times have we seen this guy do bits, put in a top quality performance, the next game he either doesn't play or he gets 7 or 10 minutes? How can you build? How can you grow? How can you develop? And it's like, it's not fair. He's not getting a fair opportunity. It feels like they're saying the same thing every single time, but Pedro and Willian, they're in the decline. I'm sorry. They're not that great. They don't even press effectively. I don't understand why they keep consistently getting game time. And for me, the only reason why I'm talking about this is because of what Zola said in the press conference today. And honestly, it really got on my nerves. He was saying things like, Hudson Odoi is getting a lot of game time for an 18-year-old. Before I say anything, football fans today are smart. They haven't been smarter in any given period ever. Social media's helped, more interaction, etc., etc. People are much more knowledgeable about the game and how things work behind the scenes as well. So, these stupid PR answers, it's not really helping anyone because we look straight through it. And if you're saying that for an 18-year-old he should be grateful, no, I'm sorry. This is Hudson Odoi. He isn't any 18-year-old player. He's much better than that. And it's no surprise that Hudson Odoi, in my opinion, might be going to Bayern Munich. He wanted to leave in January. We stopped that from happening because they want him. He's going to play, they're going to develop him, they're not going to patronize him and see him as any youth player. And Zola's making comments like, he'll get the opportunities when the time's right. Well, when is that time? Is he implying that if first team players get injuries, that's when he might play? That's not good enough. I don't understand. This is Hudson Odoi. He's one of the best players for his age in the entire world, I'm sorry. And it's not the first time that a club like us have possessed fantastic young players for that age, and it's these crucial years we constantly mess them up. These are the years they have to play. He needs more minutes and he's not getting them. He doesn't have the chance to build from any games he's previously played in. I'm not understanding it, you guys, and for me, I think that Hudson Odoi leaving would be a massive wake-up call for this club. It's like the definition of insanity, doing the same thing every time expecting different results. It's not going to happen. I mean, Hudson Odoi knows how good he is. He's not a shit player. Why should he be patient? Patient for what? This really annoys me, that argument point. It's not about patience. You need the opportunities. We need the managers and coaches to instill confidence in these guys that they are going to get the fair opportunities which they never receive. Like, honestly, how is this guy getting less than 10 minutes against Malmo? What is the logic behind that? Even if they're potentially going to use him against Man United, that's still not a good enough excuse because he never started the game. Oh, honestly, I don't understand. I don't get it. I personally feel like a lot of Chelsea fans now are finally starting to wake up and understand the frustrations that so many of us have felt over the years when it comes to mismanagement of talented youth players. Hudson Odoi isn't the first fantastic player we've had. Boga, for me, one of the best players we've ever produced. He's not in the picture anymore. There was no plan for his development. He's gone. Masunda, we can't forget his fantastic loan spell at Real Betis. Lewis Baker, for example, etc, etc. And I feel like the lack of game time for Hudson Odoi is finally like the final straw for a lot of people and for general Chelsea fans as well. Now, yes, I do think that Bayern's interest really did make people realise, maybe this guy is better than what we thought. Because let's be serious, if Bayern were never linked, people would be saying, Hudson Odoi, shut up, you're young. Be patient. And my favourite one was people suggesting he gets a loan move first to prove himself. Ugh. And why am I saying this? Because, I do feel like Sarri is getting a bit of a hard time because let's be serious, it's not as if Mourinho and Conte weren't just as bad as well. But I agree with the sentiment of the general fans because enough's enough. The guy's good enough. There's no real excuse anymore. The guys ahead of him aren't really better, in my opinion. We're just asking the player to leave, basically. Now, moving on to the second talking point, I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on Gary Cahill. Now, why am I even talking about this player in the first place? It's because in the media in particular, they're of the belief that we're missing his leadership in the team. They feel like this is a massive indictment on Sarri for not using Gary Cahill more. And there's like this belief that if Cahill was playing, we'd be a better team right now. Now, here's where I give my thoughts and opinions. The first thing I want to address is, why isn't Gary Cahill playing? It's very simple. He's not good at playing out from the back. I say this point every single time, and I'm always going to say it. To get the best out of a team, you want all the players complementing each other and complementing the system. That's the only way it works. Now, we're a team under Sarri where it's pivotal that we play out from the back. It's the way we play and break down teams. You can't afford to have a player that's susceptible to losing the ball when he's pressed, who misplaces it with poor passes, and who doesn't make the right passing decisions. It's very simple why Sarri isn't using him. Now, here's where I blame the club. Look at Man City. I'm constantly going to be comparing us to Man City and Pep because they're a club that show us how to do things properly. Now, when you're introducing this new style of football, you need the club to fully back and support it. And one way the club can help to support your ideas on football is by getting rid of the deadwood. Now, imagine at Man City, if Pep Guardiola, he's trying to bring in his style of football, but guys like Kolarov, Sanya, Clichy, etc. are still remaining at the club. How's his football ideas going to work? It's not going to happen. Number one, those guys are going to be annoyed that they feel like they're not being respected because Pep can't use them because they don't complement the system. And naturally, because of that, you can imagine that there would be some disharmony with the squad because some players are going to be pissed. They're going to be annoyed. Now, if Chelsea want to prove that, yes, we're in support of Sarri, guys like that would be sold by now. Now, there's a reality as to why it's so difficult to get rid of them. They're on big contracts. Let's be serious. Now, Gary Cahill had a ton of offers from abroad. That's a fact. He had clubs like Monaco and Juventus, for example. That was a real thing. Now, he didn't want to go. His reason for that was due to family reasons, which I respect, I understand. I think that that's a part of football that's constantly overlooked by us fans. But the cynical part of me thinks that if Cahill was earning less than 50% of what he's currently on, would he still be willing to just accept staying at Chelsea? I don't think so. I think maybe he could have had that difficult conversation with his family and they could have come to an arrangement. Now, this was the same reason for Danny Drinkwater. I think he had an offer from, was it a Fenerbahce and Galatasaray? But I know that he had offers from abroad. Top of my head now, I can't remember some of the clubs in particular. But again, he stayed for family reasons because, his family don't want to leave. And in a sense, I do respect that. Of course, players can't just be 1000% selfish. When you've got a family and stuff, you've got responsibilities, But if you've got players like this who are unhappy because, they're not playing, that's naturally going to cause some disharmony in the team. Now, I'm not buying this stuff I've been reading about Cahill's leadership. Listen, he's had no leadership in this team. I honestly don't understand how this has become a thing. Yes, I know that people don't like Sarri right now, but let's not stick anything at Sarri. Sarri's done nothing wrong. It's the club's fault for not getting rid of these players. It's their fault because they don't have any future planning. Like if you're going to give Cahill a long-term deal, you have to understand that there's a massive possibility this player is going to stay until his contract ends. I mean, why would Cahill leave? He's living in London. He's on big money. What other club is going to offer him them type of terms? It's not going to happen. Now, yeah, I do sympathise that he's not playing. Players aren't happy when they aren't playing, especially when you're at a big club. It's common sense. But what can Sarri do? You can't rely on Cahill to play out from the back. We've seen time and time again the mistakes he makes. I don't understand why everyone's creating these mental gymnastics to justify why Cahill should be playing. Yes, Cahill has won lots of trophies with us. I don't understand why people start off the conversation with Cahill by bringing up all the trophies he's won. I'm sorry, Cahill's been part of some successful teams. You can't say he was pivotal for us in the Champions League final. That was all Drogba and Petr Cech, let's be serious. And every league title win as well. He's never been one of the standout players for us. He's always been lucky in my opinion in that sense that, he was bought as a squad defender. Naturally, if other players' forms dip, etc., he's going to have the opportunities and moments to play. Conte was the only one to really give him, the role as a first choice defender, but to this day, I will never ever understand. I think that Conte had his own personal reason as to why he thought Cahill would be good for the team. I've never understood it. I thought Zuma was always better, and I still stick by that. But please, one thing I'm not going to accept is that Gary Cahill has some massive importance for this team and this squad. He doesn't. I've heard some things which I'll never say. You know what? I'm not a journalist, I'm running a fan channel, I understand that. And because I do that, and I'm a fan of the club I support, I'm not going to start putting people on blast or, revealing personal stuff just to profit from that. I'm not about that. But from everything I've been hearing about Cahill, I just don't understand why people are still pushing this narrative that his leadership was so important for the team, because it's not. Long story short, Chelsea, start thinking in the long term, because we won't be in a situation where we've got deadwood players affecting the harmony of the squad because they're not playing. And to move on to the final talking point, that's in regards to Ross Barkley. Now, yes, Ross Barkley last night was still doing Barkley things. For every good thing he does like one average thing and one bad thing. But you guys, I'm objective. I am. I can be critical. I can't help it. It's how I analyse the game. But it was the first performance that I've seen from Ross where he kind of inspired me with confidence in regards to his decision making in the final third. I saw him looking more positive. I was seeing a bit more confidence. Yeah, he was trying to do some things. They didn't come off. But Ross Barkley for molds wouldn't try them again. He played safe. And I think something's, I don't know, it could be too soon for me to say that something's woken up in Ross. But this was a positive performance against Malmo. Let's see if he can improve and develop from that. I'm always giving the context on Ross Barkley. I've said, the guy hasn't played for a year before he signed for us. You're moving on to a bigger club with better players. There's a lot more pressure on you. I can see why you might play within yourself. That makes a lot of sense. So no one can say that I've never been sympathetic to Ross. But, I'm seeing Ross start to carry the ball a bit more. We're seeing him start to, try and beat a man, the close control in tight areas. He's not getting dispossessed as much as he was. It seems like things are slowly starting to pick up for him. Let's see how he develops over time. Now, yes, of course, I always say when Barkley has space, that's what he needs. It's when the game becomes much more tight and compact where he struggles. But at the same time, I'm analysing our team and I'm constantly saying that we're not really doing enough in the wide areas. We don't really help out our attacking players or the midfielders much because the play becomes too congested, I feel, because no one wants to play out wide because the players out wide, the fullbacks, aren't really good enough for this style of football. Of course, Ross made those two annoying mistakes at the end, but I'm not going to lie, I'm going to overlook them because I thought I saw more positives from his game. And I said confidence for me is something that's always been affecting Ross Barkley at Chelsea so far. Let's see if he can overcome that and start to feel that, yes, I am good enough to play with these guys and develop. Let's not lie, we all liked Ross Barkley when he was younger, first coming through Everton. He was very courageous, his runs. That goal he scored against Newcastle was one of my favourite goals, That's Ross Barkley. But since that injury, we haven't really seen that. Let's see if he can bring it back. But anyway, you guys, that's going to bring an end for today's 3 talking points video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment and subscribe definitely comment. I want to read your thoughts and opinions on Gary Cahill and Hudson Odoi and Ross Barkley as well. So, of course, make sure you comment. I always read them. Obviously, I can't reply to all of them because I'm getting crazy amounts of comments, but I'm enjoying it, you know? But anyway, you guys, I'm going to keep it moving. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll be getting that video soon. And if you want the exclusive video, sign up to me on Patreon. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Line TV, signing out.